Hello everyone, my name is Tania Davies. I'm a speaker, trainer, therapist and the Success Low Coach. I'm also the founder and director of the Mindful Impact Wellness Hub, and I have the pleasure of today introducing you to Caroline Chapman. Hello Caroline, how are you doing?
Good, how are you, Tania?
I'm very good. Look, Caroline is the founder of Leadership Interrupted, and she is also known to many of us as the Energy Shifter Coach. Caroline, can you just give my audience a little bit of an idea of why you decided to actually found Leadership Interrupted?
Okay. For many years, I worked in oil and gas and mining, about 32 years, with some awesome leaders and some not so great ones. And the only difference between the two leadership styles was the energy they bring to what they do.
Yes.
So I was really interested in that, and I went and did my coaching program on energy leadership after much research, and it was a great program. It teaches you how to shift energy. I know you're a slow coach, and shift energy.
Very much aligned.
Yeah. So it's a great way to shift energy, and that's what I love doing, and that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
So what kind of clients do you actually work with?
So I work with high performance clients and teams to shift energy. So these days, everyone's busy. No one's got time to train people. They just dump them, right? Sink and swim.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's not great, which means we're not building future leaders.
Yeah.
In a conscious, centered way of leadership.
Yes, you and I are both very passionate about that concept of conscious leadership, especially both of us having come from, I've come from the mineral resources sector. I was in there for 13 years and you're from oil and gas. So we've trodden the same roads together. We know what that's like. And yes, I absolutely agree with you that when it comes to the energy shift, there's nothing more important than walking into an organization that's got the right energy. So let's have a little bit of a conversation now about your story in particular and what led you to slow down in your world.
Well, I was working, oil and gas is super, everything is fast track, right? I don't think in my career I've ever worked on a project that doesn't call itself fast track. And then the fast track, they really are fast track. Yeah. So I was working about 60 to 80 hours a week and with a great team, but it was still a lot of work. And then one day I get a call. I've been for a normal blood test, but I was very tired. I thought it was just work.
Yeah.
So I get a call first thing in the morning from my doctor. And she says, I've made an urgent appointment for you. You need to go and get an urgent blood transfusion.
Wow.
Fortunately, the place was 2 doors down from me. So I dropped everything. I said, hey, this is what the doctor said. I got to go. So I went for my blood transfusion and sat there like for 4 hours or something. And it was a very quick whirlwind. And within 2 weeks, I was having a hysterectomy. But when I went to the specialist, he was a lovely man. And we introduced each other. And then he said to me, right. Now, the first thing I need you to do is clear your diary, your social diary, for 8 weeks. I just looked at him. I thought, you're kidding me, right?
Talk about a slowdown.
That's said,
incredible.
When I say social diary, I mean everything. It means you don't go and hang the clothes out to dry. You don't, I'll just do this. That's what clearing out your diary means.
I love the fact that he said hanging the laundry out is a social thing. He needs a bit of a talking to, but anyway, I get the concept. But what an abrupt halt. So how did you deal with it?
Well, I phoned my mum. So my mum lives reasonably not too far away, close by. And my friend, my best friend from Melbourne, she said, right, I'm coming over. And she came for quite a few weeks. She did all the school pickups, drop-ups, everything, right? She did all of that. And I actually got to have a social diary because she drove me to catch up friends. I actually had time after the surgery, after a couple of weeks, but it was true. I could not do anything. I really could not do anything. If I wanted to heal quicker, I just simply needed to stop. And that was the best thing that happened to me.
Wow,
Truly.
that's an incredible story. I mean, you just emphasized there the absolute fundamental importance of family and your tribe to be there and support you. I mean, my husband's gone through a similar thing when he had a major accident, and you're exactly right. It's about the people that come and help you in that scenario. They're the true good friends, aren't they? They're the ones that really stick with you for life. Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on a little bit, because that's an incredible story. So why do you think then, now the work that you've done, you've completely pivoted your career, why do you think people then have those professionals that we've all been there, why do you think they struggle to slow down so much?
Because most people, well, first of all, a lot of us are high achievers, right? So you just do everything you possibly can, and you don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to let other people down. We value service. So service is a very high value to all of us. So, and then you get stuck in the FOMO and the just doing.
Yeah.
So for me, that was one big timeout moment. I had another one. Well, COVID was a good timeout moment as well, because it disrupted everything that we do.
Yep.
And so that was another disruptor in my life. And I took the chance to go, okay, what it is I really want to do, and make the plan for the next season in my life.
Yes, beautiful.
And so I made the decision that at X point I was going to stop working, and I was going to do what I really love, is training people and coaching, and about the energy shift and building new leaders, right? Future leaders.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is what I'm passionate about. So
I've noticed.
Those two things really were good, but often we never get the chance to see that. You just get stuck in a rut, and you stop looking. You don't see the forest anymore. You're just on that.
Yeah. Until you get slowed down by the universe, like you did. Yeah. It happens. And I can't tell you how many people I have in my office, Caroline, that exactly like you, it seems to be the health concern all of a sudden that brings them in.
Yeah.
Right. There's no conscious decision to actually slow down before that moment. But that's why we're doing what we're doing now. The slow leadership movement needs to happen. So I'd like to ask you now, just moving on, what do you think is some really good key advice that you have actually received over the years from people in regards to slowing down?
I think the best advice was the doctor. Clear out your social calendar. And every time I find myself saying, oh, I haven't got time for this, I know that I need to step back and slow down, because time is time. Absolutely. Everybody has the same 24 hours, right? Whether that is the one equalizer with everyone, whether it's Elon Musk or Richard Branson or the Queen, we all have 24 hours.
Absolutely.
No one can buy anymore. So as soon as I hear myself saying those things, I go, okay, there's other things I need. Well, what's important? Let's take away all the distraction.
Yes. Thank you.
And then let's get back to basics. What is really, really important? Who is important? What is important in my life? And what is meaningful in my life?
Yeah.
And then when I get back to that, then I know, great, I'm back again on the right track.
That's a really good check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very much value when people actually do point out, especially in the advice side of things, especially with someone like you as a coach and a trainer, etc., that when we're actually taking that moment to work on what's important rather than what's urgent, it's fundamental. Yes. That really comes back to slowing us down, because all of the busy starts to drop away. Yeah. So I'm curious, in your life, who's given you the best advice when it comes to slowing down?
I have to say that it's my kids, really. When I was young, when the hysterectomy happened, and then after that it was okay. The most important part of my life is my kids and my family, right? Yeah. They are the most important things. So everything else, then it became easier to discard all of the other things. And then over time, of course, now they've grown and they have their own independent lives.
Yeah.
I always come back to my little circle. Who's in my circle, right? Yeah. And I have different circles. So those key people, they are the ones I live and I work and I do everything I do for. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I always check in with my little inner circle of vulnerability, I call them. They're little ones that I'm quite happy to just let them know everything about me. And there's very few of those that sit in that circle, but there's a reason for that, because we shouldn't just openly be vulnerable to the entire world constantly. In the age of the Kardashians, that's not necessarily appropriate.
Very tiring, that.
Yeah, it is, because to constantly let your shield down everywhere, it's not necessary, but it's there for a reason, right? To protect us. So I'm really interested to know, what are some of your personal strategies that you use as an individual? You've mentioned about coming back to the family, but what are some of maybe your self-care techniques, or even things you do or say that will help you slow down, especially now and in the future?
I always make sure I go for my morning walk.
Right.
That was one thing I had stopped doing. So the COVID disruption, I was living in Singapore at the time. Fortunately, you could walk everywhere. You weren't like Malaysia, was far more restrictive. Mm-hmm. So I switched my day upside down. And of course, everything went to Zoom, and, you were constantly on Zoom.
Yeah.
So after the first week, it came to Friday, and all I was thinking that Friday night was, I got to get up early in the morning and do this and do this and do this. And I'm going, no, you don't. No, you don't. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Actually, stop.
And then I rearranged my life. So I started in the local neighborhood going for a walk, and I made sure I love walking. So I made sure I do that every morning, whether it was raining or not. In Perth, rain is cold. Singapore, rain was warm. So it was okay.
I am familiar with both. Nothing like being 42 degrees and getting soaking wet.
Yeah, it's really blustery. No, I don't go for a walk, but I listen to my audiobooks, or sometimes I just take the time to listen to myself, let the thoughts come through or whatever. That is my space. And if I start with that, I have a great day. And at the end of the day, I write in my bullet journal, something I found just in reading. Mm-hmm. And that's my unwind.
Oh, beautiful.
So I make sure I do all the bits are ticked off, and then the next day, and my mind then is clean and empty, I read something and I go to bed. So that's my routine. Those are the things I do to slow down for myself. Yeah.
I love the way the people I interview always bring something different into the mix. For you, it's the journaling side of things and your walk. I find that brilliant. Certainly it needs to be in my agenda is the walk part, because it's one of the first things that tends to disappear for a lot of us. But I think a few people listening today could really appreciate that gentle tap on the shoulder and get up and actually change your world in that space. Caroline, I'm really interested to know, with everything you know and the amazing career you've had, we've all got the knowledge, but where do you sometimes trip up? What are still your challenges moving forward in a slow way?
My biggest challenge, though, at the moment is I have so many ideas, right? Because now I'm doing this for myself.
Yes.
I could be doing this and this and this. It's basically to go, okay, you need to decide what is really, really, really meaningful and important to me. That's what I'll focus on. I cannot do everything. Like my partner always said to me, you try and do 24 hours of stuff in the 16 hours we're awake.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And with maturity and with experience, I learned that, I need to pick two really important things and I can do those.
Yes.
So now that's what I do. But
well done.
I struggle to let go of some things that I really have to decide. The word decide is to kill off something. So I really have to decide. And that's what I struggle with sometimes is of some of these things.
I hear you so much. As somebody who's one of my strengths is a futurist, I'm totally with you on this. And a very wise person once said to me, just get yourself a folder and shove all your ideas in the folder because you never know when they're going to come up. So in my library that I have here is I just have a manila folder where I just shove my ideas in there. And I can't tell you how many times I go back to that and go, what was that thing I was thinking about a year ago? And it's still there. They're never going to disappear. They're there. But like you, the to-do list has to remain at no more than 3 for the day.
I think I'm going to add that to my journal. I'm going to have
it really helps.
Yeah,
cool. It really does. So I'm curious because you've been an amazing leader and such an amazing businesswoman and an example for so many people in your industry and new industry you're about to move into. I'm curious to know, with everything you know now about coaching and the leadership journey, how do you think business leaders will actually benefit from slowing down and bringing conscious leadership into the workplace?
That's a really good question because it seems counterintuitive for most people to slow down, especially for high achievers, right? It's hard. You feel like, I got to be doing something. If I'm sitting down, I got to be doing something.
Yes.
But the magic happens when you actually slow down. Your brain has a chance to catch up. You know, your thoughts have a chance to catch up. Everything has a chance to catch up. Your brain needs downtime.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you get that downtime, after a bit, you're far more energized. And I remember that first few times, the first few days, I think it took me a while to slow down. After my operation, I was still going round and round in circles, you know, about the project and this and that. And I thought, no, the other people are handling it. Just leave them to it. It's fine.
Absolutely.
And that was a big awakening for me to actually slow down. And from then I made an effort to actually slow down. And I listened to my body. I listened to myself.
Sounds like trust is a bit of a theme there.
And it made a big difference in my life. Slowing down actually helped me get far more productive and far more clearer. Not more clearer, but made me get clearer.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I know what you mean.
What that was important.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think one of the very important things you said there is it sounds like trust for yourself, but also trust in others and being able to delegate to your team. You built your team. You need to trust your team to get the job done because the freedom it will allow you to do that and give them the authority they need to be able to carry out their jobs gives you back freedom.
Totally.
I wish more leaders would understand this because I totally agree. I mean, I am all about, in terms of the slow leadership movement, it is about doing more without the busy.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a big difference. That productivity can rise. But look, I think we've come to the end of our time together, which is so quick. I've really enjoyed having your company here. Now, for those of you that don't know, Caroline's actually based in Western Australia. That's correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Perth, exactly, the home of the mining sector. Now, can I just ask, do you work online as well as in person in this COVID age?
Yes, I do. All of my coaching is on Zoom.
Beautiful.
And I do face-to-face, but coaching mostly on Zoom, yes.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So if anyone would actually like to directly reach out to Caroline Chapman, I will actually put all the contact details in the description. So please reach out, comment, share, like. It's been amazing having you today, Caroline. Thank you so much for your insights.
My pleasure. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you. And I really hope everyone has taken home the key message here of slowing down today. And we'll all, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Take care.